What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some new news concerning Manny Pacquiao. The 8 division world champion has declared war on the PBC since he signed the 2-fight deal with PBC and Al Haymon, and he came out with the details and he discussed who he wanted to fight, and the list is very surprising. Of course, the anticipated fight between him and Adrian Broner about billions, the problem, Broner, and it's supposed to be on Fox pay-per-view now on the 19th of January. So we have to look into the details about that, give you further information as provided. But the list is Errol Spence, the Mighty Rhino, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Floyd Mayweather Jr., of course. We knew about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and the Broner. We thought it was a 2-fight deal. The question is, those are the targets. Those are the people that he would like to fight. It's very surprising for Manny Pacquiao. I can't help but be a little bitter about the time. Because, by this time, Manny's 39 years old. He'll be 40 by the time he fights whoever in January, if that's Broner. And I just seen pad worker Broner, working the pads and the heavy bag. And, of course, he always looks good in training. I never seen Adrian Broner just look bad in training. I seen him, outside of training, goofing off, you know what I mean? But I never seen him non-focused in the gym. So it looks good anyways. So he's training for that fight. But the surprising thing that surprised me most is Errol Spence. Because there's only 2 other people that I know that called out Errol Spence, and that's been Amir Khan and Mikey Garcia. And Mikey Garcia is also on that list. So, it's kind of like the legend comes back, breaks out of bondage from Top Rank to take on the guys on the other side of the street. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? It sounds better. It would be a lot better if this was 2 years ago, at least early last year. You know what I'm saying? Because that's coming up on 2 years anyway. I'm just surprised, and the thing about it, the funny thing about Manny Pacquiao, he might not win all those fights, but I think he could kick a couple asses out of that group of people. You know what I mean? He might not, I wouldn't give him the favorite in Errol Spence, but here's the deal. Errol Spence is a southpaw, and Errol Spence really hasn't fought a lot of southpaws, you know what I mean, as recorded, and especially one that has that awkward style like Manny Pacquiao. The thing is, at his age, he's, the power is the last to go, okay, when you're dealing with that. And I know this is kind of bleeding into the fight study, but, just looking at that fight on the top of my head, he could give Errol Spence some problems. You know what I'm saying? Because of the hand speed, the stance, the southpaw stance. He's fighting another southpaw. Errol Spence is a southpaw, an aggressive body snatching southpaw. But with Manny, being that elusive, I would like to see that. I would love to see that, because then, Errol Spence, of course, it's funny how he gets hesitant or gives these excuses why he don't want to fight Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? But then I'm waiting for his response to Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's on this side of the street, so there's no excuses why that fight couldn't get made, right? If the money's right, if it makes business sense for Manny Pacquiao, the guy is 40 years old. Al Haymon's happy to get that guy in his stable. You know what I mean? You imagine how Al Haymon's eyes lit up when he found out Manny Pacquiao was really seriously talking about signing with him and then sign with him. You know what I'm saying? I would love to be a fly on the room, on the wall, in that room to hear that, to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a big thing for PBC. You know what I mean? And someone like Manny Pacquiao coming there and then declaring these type of fights at his age, it's heroic. How smart it is. That's something that Floyd would never do. So I got to take my hat off to Manny. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this guy, if you look at it, I remember, you look at the comparison. right, between them two fighters now, because I have to talk about that while we're here. He's calling out these guys at 40 years of age. You know what I'm saying? That alone shows you how dedicated and how competitive that he really is to fight the best. And a lot of times in Top Rank, he couldn't do that because he was just, he could only fight Top Rank approved fighters. Timothy Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Brandon Rios, you know what I'm saying? So those are the type of fights that they could make with Bob Arum because, Bob Arum and Al Heyman really weren't all the best business partners together. You know what I'm saying? But to talk about the comparison of Floyd Money Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, it reminds me of an argument I had with Boxing Ego. And we went at it, and it was like one of those things where the comments were like so deep, you know what I mean? Because it was like he said something, because he was answering Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman, compared Manny Pacquiao to Mayweather. And Mayweather, in fact, was, beat Manny Pacquiao in 2015. But the thing is, Kellerman broke down the comparison of their careers and what they did, and Manny did more. You know what I mean? And then Boxing Ego made a comment like, oh, well, I don't know why Max Kellerman would say such a dumb comment because it makes no sense because we could clearly see who was better. Floyd's better because he beat Manny Pacquiao. But then what I said was, I commented on that video and I was like, well, what Max Kellerman meant was the comparison between the two fighters over the span of their career. Manny stayed consistent. Mayweather didn't. Manny had 8 divisions. Mayweather didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that he done in the sport, he was a fighter of the decade. Mayweather didn't. And he got pissed off. Oh, your whole argument is trash. It's bullshit. You don't know shit about boxing. And then someone replied under him. And it was like, well, this is what he meant. Exactly what I just explained about the comparison. And, and he got pissed off like, oh, you're trash and, get you in the hot seat. And I'm like, well, the hot seat's stupid because I have to type as fast as you talk. That's retarded. You know what I mean? If you wanted to do a debate, we could do a debate between those two fighters, and it was real. It got real nasty for a while. But anyways, this here proves and shows Manny coming out. Yeah, he did it late at 40 years old. He should have done it years ago. I agree. But, better late than never, I say. You know what I'm saying? Because at least he's given a valiant effort and he's still a guy that is claiming to be one of the top fighters, fighting the top fighters. You know what I'm saying? Calling out the top fighters, the most dangerous fighters. Spence is that dangerous dude that no one wants to get in the ring with on his side of the street. So that should just tell you a lot about Manny Pacquiao's desire to be the best, because I remember, I think last year, he wanted to be remembered and I just thought that was weird, but I guess he has an itch that he has to scratch. He wants to go in and take on those guys. I wouldn't recommend it, but then I could only respect it because I feel someone like Floyd Mayweather with the expertise, the boxing IQ, the things he can do, the speed, the experience, I think that he should also be doing that. And I did a video about both of them because after they fought each other, Mayweather went on to fight Andre Berto. And I'm like, what the hell is you doing? What are you doing? Why couldn't it have been Keith Thurman, Amir Khan? Amir Khan would have been a perfect exit for him. But then because he could have proved himself from the very beginning to the very end. You know what I mean? So, but Manny Pacquiao is going out and testing himself still to this day. So, there's no doubt about his desire to want to fight the best. That's what I'm saying. So you guys tell me what you think about Manny Pacquiao calling out these fighters being on this side of the street. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.